Hi everyone, and welcome to our 21 for 21 series organised by Library Plus. So my name's Kate and I'm from Pacesetter Sports and Wellbeing Limited. I just wanted to start by wishing you all a very happy new year, and actually this is going to be the theme of our first video of the 21 for 21 series. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes the opportunity for a new start can feel really good. Often I have all the goals in mind, so much I want to achieve, things that I want to do differently in the new year. Yet a couple of weeks in, my motivation goes, or the realisation hits that actually maybe the goals that I set just aren't achievable. Disappointment sets in, and what was often intended to be something that made me feel good and have a focus has the adverse effect. Well, I think many of us can relate to this. In fact, various studies show that around 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. Saying that, we needn't give up on the idea altogether, because we know that actually having goals in life can be a really positive thing. I read a really thought-provoking article around this time last year actually, which really helped me with this whole topic. It spoke about New Year's intentions rather than New Year's resolutions. So a resolution is a decision to do something or to not do something. It's kind of like a promise to yourself. So resolutions then seem to be something that we either succeed at or we fail at, and it puts the pressure on, and as I said earlier, that's why they can often have an adverse effect, especially if we fail, we don't achieve the goal that we set. So what are intentions then? An intention focuses much less on goals, but more on the journey which leads to particular outcomes. So for example, someone hoping to lose weight, which is one of the most common resolutions, their resolution would be to lose a certain number of pounds. Whereas an intention would be, I'm going to look after my body more this year. So this then determines their actions, and it can actually make a huge difference to the outcome, and it's just generally a much kinder process, recognising that change does take time. So this leads us on to talk about the title of today's video, which is New Year, New You, ? And that question mark is really key, and you may have worked out why the question mark is there. Perhaps based on what we've just explored, we can change New You to something like New Year, More You. New You implies that none of the 2020 you is of any use, and we know that there were many challenges, especially in 2020, but these have shaped us, and we can use these experiences to help us towards to moving more towards being the you that you choose to be in 2021. So let's not underestimate all the positive things about ourselves. In fact, a better way may be to just build on these rather than trying to completely transform ourselves, which is a really big task and actually something that isn't necessary, because we can just build on the current you, the you that you are at present. So I've done a little, given some questions to a colleague of mine called Mark, who is a really inspiring person. He has had a really tough time over this past year, and he is someone that I really look up to as someone who just has an amazing mindset and is just, he's just an amazing person. So I've put a couple of questions on this topic to him. So let's have a listen to what he has to say on this.
So every new year comes around, and I think me, like everyone else, feels quite positive, feels energetic, energised, ready to attack the year. So it's a strange one for me because yes, that's the start of a new year, but they're not like work in the schools. The start of a new year is September, and then football, the start of a new year is kind of July time. So there's a few different points in the year which could constitute as being a new year. But going into an actual new year, the 1st of January Yeah, feel positive, feel ready to go, ready to conquer some new quests. I like the idea of having intentions rather than resolutions. Resolutions kind of feels a bit like you're problem solving, like you've had a few problems the last year, or you've got a few problems with yourself, which might be true for some, but you can't change what's happened in the last year. You can only change what's going to happen in this year. You can only have faith in yourself going forwards. So yeah, I like the idea of having intentions for the year, goal setting rather than resolutions. I think people's intentions should be realistic. They should be kind to themselves, and not too harsh on themselves if something doesn't go to plan. I believe you can't just have one path to follow. There's going to be lots of different paths, lots of different variations, lots of challenges along the way, which are good things. If you couldn't accept those challenges, if you weren't good enough, you weren't brave enough to conquer those challenges, then they wouldn't be put in your way. My challenge, so my intention, a challenge that I'm going to set myself this year. I'm not haven't been a big reader recently, so my challenge will be to read at least 12 books. So give myself a month for each one, 12 books next year. That's my intention to do. So, and again, like I said previously, I'm not going to be too hard on myself if I don't get to 12. If I get to 10 or I get to 8, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm going to be calm.
So thank you, Mark, for that. It's really interesting to hear your opinions on this. So finally, an action. One that you can reflect on by yourself if you prefer, or if you want to, you can involve family or friends. And this is something that we use in various courses that we run at Pacesetter. And you will be able to download a worksheet. The link will be available, and it is called What Word Do You Choose, or What Is Your Word? And on this worksheet there are so many different words. There's just loads of them, and it might be that a particular a word doesn't stand out and actually you want to choose another word. But I'd like you to think about what words stand out to you. It may be a quality that you would really wish to build on over the coming months. It could form part of your intention. And again, we don't need to put unnecessary pressure on ourselves. It's not about achieving or succeeding. It's about working towards something that will positively impact on your well-being. So before I summarise, I just wanted to share with you a piece of an article that I read in a magazine called Breathe. This was the article that I mentioned earlier that really inspired me in this way. It's unlikely that your actual path through life will match the exact journey that you had in mind when you set out. It makes no sense to restrict your satisfaction to one scenario when there are many paths to success. Every setback gives you an opportunity to improve how you deal with challenges, and every delay gives you a chance to revisit your intentions and ensure that your choices are aligned. And through it all, you learn to focus on the present and grow where you are right now, regardless of where you're headed. So our 3 points or actions from today's video, which will all add up to our 21 for 21. Firstly, focus on setting intentions rather than resolutions. Secondly, no need for a new you. The old you, the 2020 you, has lots to offer too. Let's build on that. And finally, your action. What word do you choose? Thank you.